So, going to be looking at the comics got last week. So it's a mix. It's going to be the new titles, but also there's a few what I missed out on from previous orders, and they sold out online everywhere. So I went to my local comic shop on Saturday, and fortunately they had them. Yay! So the first one is one of those. This one has taken weeks to find, and it's Wesley Dodds the Sandman issue number 2 by Robert Venditti and Riley Rossmo, and I am so pleased to say that it carries on with the quality of the previous issue. I love that cover. The artwork inside is amazing. Riley Rossmo, he was good on Harley Quinn, but he's much more suited doing like a noirish period piece like this is. This is set in like the late 1930s, early 1940s. And it very much is in the same spirit as the fantastic Vertigo run by Matt Wagner and Steven Seagal, and it's a perfect comic, really good mystery. Basically, a lot happens to Wesley Dodds. His house gets attacked and burnt down, and he loses a certain something, what's very, very important to him as the Sandman. And yeah, so that's what that's about. He's a very refreshing hero because he doesn't believe in violence, so he tries to solve. That's why he uses the gas, because it just nullifies the victim, and it means if he can help, he can try and resolve it without inflicting any physical damage. And this is a good study about that, about how can you be a crime fighter and be a pacifist. So it brings up a lot of interesting questions. Art is amazing, storyline is very solid, so I'd give this a good solid 8 out of 10, and I will be carrying on with it. And then another one that passed me by initially, but I was looking into it and it really does appeal to me. I will get there's another book of it that came out, but it's now been collected in hardback, which I will get. But you don't need to read that to read this one. And this is Superman 78, The Metal Curtain. And the artwork is so nice. It's the same artist inside who does the cover. Really nice line work, and it fits the 70s set theme of the comic. It's a really nice tribute to those Richard Donner Superman movies. They've got the likenesses of the characters really well, not too similar, but just enough. I think if they just aped it like they do with like the Star Wars comics, I think it'd make it look a bit static and a bit stagnant, because you'd be trying to, if you saw any imperfection, you'd pull you out of the story. Whereas they've got the likenesses, but they're not like picture perfect. But it's got the essence of each character, of the actors who played them. And this introduces this cinematic universe's version of Metallo, and it's a really interesting take on it. And I do highly recommend it. I'd give this a 7.5 out of 10, and maybe an 8.5 for the artwork. 7.5 for the story, 8.5 for the artwork, and I think it'll only get better after the first issue. This is just like the intro. So yeah, enjoyable. Glad I picked it up. And another comic that I kept on umming and ahhing about, and I ummed and ahed so long that it sold out everywhere online. Fortunately, I found one hidden away at a local comic shop this week, and that's Petrolhead number 1. Rob Williams is one of the best writers on DC at the moment for Judge Dredd stories, and Piper, he normally doesn't do comic artwork. He's normally the graphic designer for 2000 AD and Rebellion books. I think this is his first comic work, or his first major one, and the artwork is gorgeous, very European flavour, very 2000 AD flavour, of course, and you're instantly thrust into this world where basically machines, robots, androids, whatever you want to call them, are like second-class citizens. They're there to do the dirty work. They're there to provide the entertainment. One of the entertainment that they provide is racing, but they're imbued with feelings like humans have. So one of the things that the big chiefs who oversee this drag racing is, they sometimes kill them off, but they can feel the death, they can feel the injuries, and so the other robots who grow close to the other robots, if one of their colleagues dies, they feel the impact of the emotion of it, just to get increased rating, viewer ratings. So that's like the background of it, but then obviously it goes into the background this one here, he's called Petrolhead, and he smokes a cigar, and he's got a little robotic bird companion who he created. So the little robot bird was saying to him, "So you're my god?" He said, "That's a bit embarrassing." And this girl works for her dad is a scientist who's developing something that'll benefit society. And something happens, and they end up going on a run. But I don't want to give you any more because it is worth reading. It's $4.99, but it's 42 pages of story, and it's got some character sketch pages on the back as well. So very good value. I think initially they said I watched the Forbidden Planet YouTube episode where they interviewed the creators of this, and they said initially they want to start with a 5-issue arc and then maybe wait a bit and then bring out another arc. So I'm happy with that, and yeah, 9 out of 10, really, really good, very high quality, one of the best debuts of the year. And then we're going on to last week's new comics. So this is Edenwood #2 by Tony S. Daniel. That's the cover. If you remember on the first one, I said the art was fantastic, the story is interesting, but the dialogue was a bit clunky. Art is still fantastic. For the art, I would give it a 9 out of 10. The story, I'd give it a what the hell. I can't mark it because I don't know what's going on. I kind of grasped a bit of what was going on last time, but now it's like I'm reading a different comic and I don't know what it's about, what it's set in, what the premise is. I'm lost, completely lost. There's a map in the back, but I need a plot map to know what he's trying to convey, what he's trying to say with this. So yeah, I won't get picking up anymore. It's a shame. I wanted to like it. The writing's not bad, but if you can't understand it, what's the point? So for the art, 9 out of 10. But having a pretty comic, you want to have a good story as well. So yeah, stopping with issue #2, sadly. So there we go. Maybe I'm just not clever enough, who knows, but I don't think that's the case. And next up, this is another one where there's a series of it that came out in 2021 and it's now being compiled into a hardback. And again, it's a DC Cinematic Universe one, and it's Batman 89. So I'm going to get the hardback one. I think for this one, I could have done so with read that first one beforehand because I think a lot's happened with the characters. For example, Commissioner Gordon's passed away. Spoilers, but spoilers for me as well because I've not read the first series. And his daughter now, Barbara Gordon, is Captain Gordon. So obviously that's a big departure from the DC comic universe, of course. The artwork in this is just absolutely gorgeous, as you can tell by this cover. And he introduced the 89 universe's version of the Scarecrow and Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn very much is Madonna. Yeah, and it's good. Batman doesn't appear in this. Well, Batman does, but it's not Batman. You'll understand if you read it. But a very familiar looking face appears on the very last page, and that is all I'll say. I highly recommend you catch this, you read this. I know that's what made me hesitate initially, because I know the first miniseries didn't get a lot of love, but I think Sam Hamm has maybe learnt from any mistakes he might have made from that one, because this was solid. It flowed really well. It had a very interesting, intricate storyline, and the artwork is just gorgeous in this. Unfortunately, I'm holding a microphone and I've got this, and I don't want to take it out of the bag because I can't be asked. So I would give this a solid 8 out of 10, and I will be carrying on with it. One I have taken out of the bag is Green Lantern #6. So, as you most likely were, this was meant to be a 6-issue series, and then they said, ooh, well, they wouldn't have said it like that because they're not me. So let's just pretend about, ooh. Oh, fuck. Anyway, they went, haha, we'll make this into a 12-issue series. Because they're on Partridge, apparently. Aha! So, I don't even know what I'm saying now. So, it's now been extended to 12 issues, but this ends the first 6-issue storyline, but sets up the storyline for the next six issues, and I hope it does end up becoming a an ongoing now because I didn't care for the storyline in this. Not because it was badly written, because far from it, it was really good, but it just didn't feel like a Green Arrow story. It was very timey-wimey, but it kind of made sense in the end. And things have happened what's made me happy. There's 3 different artists, for example, Philip Hester, and Sean Azaksky, the regular artist, and they both cover different plot points of stories, different timelines of stories. It makes sense to have different artists, and the Hester one's a nice tip of the hat to the classic Green Arrow run by Brad Meltzer and Philip Hester, and also Kevin Smith and Philip Hester. And then later on, to set up the next storyline, you have Trevor Herzine artwork, who did the Deceased set of mini-series with Tom Taylor. So I got a very dry throat. And yeah, it made me actually appreciate this storyline, which is what you want. Artwork was fine. It did not interrupt the flow that was 3 different artists, because like I said, each one is for different segments of the storyline. And yeah, so very solid. Good 8 out of 10, carrying on with that. And then this was a blast. I've liked it from the get-go, but this one I think has been the best issue so far by Local Man. Despite Tim Seeley and Totally Fleeks. As I've said before, it's basically looking at what would happen if the original Image superheroes in the 90s came out of retirement now. So it's kind of given like a more of a modern, gritty, real world view on that thing. But I don't really want to give much away about this one, because all I'm saying, I think you'll realise, if you like me and you're of a certain age and you've read a lot of books from the 90s, especially like Grant Morrison's Animal Man, this is very reminiscent of the Coyote issue of Animal Man, where it goes very meta. He realizes, he kind of realizes he's a character in a comic book, but it's a very clever way how they do that, and it doesn't come across cringy or just being clever for clever's sake. It actually enhances the storyline. So it's a very good mystery what they're doing in this second arc of Local Man, and he's basically looking for this girl who's gone missing, and nobody is who they seem, and it's a really good mystery noir with the trappings of the superhero story. But like I said, it breaks the fourth wall quite a few times in this, very much like She-Hulk and the Coyote issue of Animal Man does. So 9 out of 10, really, really strong, fantastic issue. And next, I love this cover. We've got the Penguin, issue 4. I think this is Tom King's best writing he's done in a very, very long time. And the artwork by De La Torre is so, so nice. Uncluttered, unfussy. Draws very nice women. Draws a very ugly penguin, which is how it should be. And that is the Penguin's ex-wife. And it's great. It's just a fantastic, great crime comic. There's so many plot twists in this, what you don't even see coming, and why they do these certain things in the comic. And then when they do it, you think, oh, that's really clever. Damn you, Tom King, you clever boy. But yeah, if you're sitting on this and not buying it, and you're just getting Wonder Woman, you're making a huge mistake. This is better than Wonder Woman. This is one of the best DC comics out at the moment. I would give this a 9.5 out of 10. It's an essential read. Even if you don't like Batman, it doesn't matter, Batman's not in this. It's about the Penguin. And I don't like the Penguin, but he just made me like him. It's The Sopranos, it's The Wire in a comic book form. It's very, very good. And he makes such good use of the help as well. Because at first thought, he's not going to be a good character, but he's good in that. 9.5 out of 10. And next is The Flash. I think this would be the closest we could ever get to Pete Milligan or Grant Morrison doing weird sci-fi for the Flash. This is by Si Spurrier. He's very similar in style to those writers, where he's got that English sensibility, which I'm all for because I'm English. Of that 2000 AD kind of mindset where, why do something normal? You can just make it a bit trippy. And this is very trippy, very weird sci-fi. I hated, well, hate's a strong word, but I disliked quite a lot the Jeremy Adams run. It was just too fluffy. I was like, oh, felt like I was reading Candy Floss. Felt like I needed to, read something a bit grim and gritty afterwards, just get balance. Whereas this, it manages to still have humour in it, but it's got a cracking, what's that all about? It's got a really good weird science sci-fi kind of flavour, almost like a Twilight Zone kind of flavour to it. And it works with the Flash as a character. I've not seen this kind of treatment on the Flash before. They've done like the Speed Force and all that, but this goes beyond that. And I love it. I love the dialogue. And the humour takes me by surprise, because you don't expect this to actually have humour in, but he writes a really good Bart Allen in this, and Max Mercury appears as well. And I really enjoy Mike Deodato's portray how he draws them as well. It's got warmth, it's got humanity, it's weird as hell. You have to use a few brain cells to read this, and even though it's the Flash, don't rush through it. Take your time with it, because you'll miss something. But if you take time, you'll be rewarded, and I think it's going to be a really good payoff as the issues keep on building up and building up. So yeah, 9 out of 10. My best version of Flash I've read in a long, long time. And then, I'm saving the best till last, by the way. And I'll explain why in a bit. But this is up there with the best. This, I think it's weekly at the moment, or bi-weekly. It's issue 1078 of Batman Detective Comics. So this is by Ram V, of course, with amazing, spectacular art, which is by Jason Sean Alexander, who does Philadelphia. And I would love for him to do Batman full time. I know he's just doing this story out, but oh my god, it's exciting. He's got that kind of experimentalism what Bill Sienkiewicz has. Sienkiewicz, help. If you know how to pronounce his name properly, put it in the comments. And he does some really dynamic battle fight scenes as well, just with that with the outlines. Some of his ink style is very Ted McKeever as well, which I love. I love anything that pushes the envelope a bit. But it's great. It's so. If you want a Batman comic with some of the coolest members of the Bat family in it, pulling a heist with trying to stop a hanging of a Batman who's on drugs, this is the one. I mean, this could be the Batman comic you thought you never need, but you do. It's essential reading. It's so good, so good. And like I said, the artwork is so badass. I mean, that picture of Azrael is great. I love how Ram V's brought back Azrael. Dan Watter's miniseries, what came out last year, I think it's collected now. I highly recommend reading it. It's one of the best Bat Family titles I read last year. And this carries on the quality reintroduction of Azrael. It's just great. It's building up to a really good climax. And what's good about it, how they're doing the heist is really clever. Catwoman's really clever, very canny. But the villains are just as clever. So it's not just cat and mouse, it's cat and mouse, and then suddenly it switches again, and it's got the lights circling each other. And you just don't know how it's going to end, how it's going to pay off. And with Detective Comics, Yeah, it's $4.99, but you get 30 story pages. 30 story pages. And the backup strips are essential reading as well. They have just as strong art as well. I mean, look at that. That's just gorgeous. And it's Dan Waters doing backup strips. So he's done it for the past few. It's normally either Dan Waters or Si Spurrier, I think, who does the backup strips in this regularly. And they're solid, and they really are well worth reading. It's Dan Waters writing, Caspar Wingard on the artwork, who's done a lot of stories with Dan Waters. And it focuses on Eco, the standing cat woman, the friend of Selena Kyle. And it's just a fun little read. And the ending is great. I was chuckling away at myself. I just thought, he knows how to write. It's so badass. Let's just look at that cover as well. So yeah, another 9.5 out of 10. A near perfect comic. And one that I'm in an hour about getting. I thought I'd give it a chance. And I'm so glad I did. It's an event comic. And I'm not the biggest event fan, but it's by Tom Taylor. And one of my favourite comics that DC done, or favourite DC universes I've enjoyed recently has been the Deceased universe. And it's got the same kind of feel to that. It's Titans Beast World. It's got amazing art by Ivan Reis with fantastic inks by Danny Mickey. And Brad Anderson's doing the colouring. Let me just find a good page. So it builds on the plot lines been building up in the Titans ongoing comic. Oh, by the way, it's $5.99, but you get 42 pages of story in it. Are you listening, Marvel? Not 28 pages, but 42. And the artwork by Ivan Reis is just absolutely phenomenal. So it builds on the Brother Blood storyline, or Brother Destiny. And I thought, it can't work this. We can't make a big epic comic with the Titans as the main characters. I should have put faith in Tom Taylor. They can. The artwork is beautiful. There's some brilliant dialogue between Batman, Beast Boy and Raven. Raven actually puts Batman in his place, because Batman's like treating Beast Boy like he would one of his Robins, thinking, oh, I know but better than you. And it's a perfect blend of superhero, sci-fi and body horror. Pardon me. And it really does. The payoff at the end is fantastic. And like I said, the art pages are so good. Ivan Reis is a good artist anyway, but he's really given his A game here. Each page has a panel that stands out. Yeah, so it is very Gar Logan centric. He's the main character in this. He's the catalyst for the story plot. He initially saves the world and then it backfires big time, but I don't want to give too much weight. I do highly recommend hunting it out and buying it if you've not got it already. And I like how it's linking up to this big storyline with Amanda Waller across the whole DC universe, where she's got this master plan that's slowly being revealed, and this is going to be like the one that reveals the majority of it. I think it's either 4 or 6 issues bi-weekly. Like I said, this one's $5.99, but then it settles into $4.99. Sorry about this. And as I said, I wasn't going to buy this, but I'm so glad I did. Even the cover's great. Tom Taylor, with this one, he's really got the voices of the Titans. He writes the best Cyborg since Marv Wolfman did it. And I like how he writes Gar. And he actually makes Starfire interesting again. So they delve more into her heritage as well, which is another main plot point of this. But yeah, even though it's 42 pages, it read very quickly. Not because there was minimal dialogue. There's a lot of dialogue, but Tom Taylor writes very easy dialogue, very relatable. He makes the characters very relatable. He's got a good voice for all the characters, not just the ones that he normally writes, but also Batman and other characters as well. And this is how an event comic should be. It was a blast. And the good thing is, yeah, you can get the tie-ins if you want, but you don't need to, which I like. This is what I like about DC. They keep it self-contained. Whereas like with the Gang War and Spider-Man, it covers loads of titles. Whereas DC, they've got the Gotham one, the Metropolis, and a few others, but you don't need to buy them if you don't want. You can just get this, and I'm just getting this and just carrying on with the titles, and that's it. Yeah, really enjoyable, really good comic. 9 out of 10. Best event comic I've read in years. Far better than any of the Joshua Williamson ones. Tom Taylor knows how to do big, bombastic, cinematic style superhero comics, which is what this is. This is what you want. You want gorgeous artwork, gorgeous colours, and a fun, zippy storyline with a good hook. And there's a nice level of threat to it. It's a nice fine balance of light-hearted and horror in places. Yeah, it's just great. Really, really recommend it. So that's it. Most likely later on this week I'll be doing my book review for Berserker, and might do 1 or 2 other surprise videos. Okay, bye.